Hey there! Okay, quick question. If you stuffed your entire life savings under your mattress, like every paycheck, every birthday gift, every side hustle penny, and just left it there for 20 years, would you be rich? Nope. You'd probably just end up with a lumpy bed, a sore back, and a bunch of sad-looking paper that buys way less than it used to. Let me introduce you to Bob. Bob is your classic play-it-safe guy. He eats oatmeal every morning. He's had the same shoes since 2009. And he believes deep in his soul that saving every dollar is the path to glory. Bob gets his first job at 22, earning a decent salary. Every month he squirrels away money like a financial squirrel prepping for a nuclear winter. No fancy vacations, no avocado toast. Bob's savings account is growing slowly. By the time Bob turns 42, he's saved up $100,000. Sounds good, right? Except, while Bob was saving that money, something sneaky was happening in the background. Our old friend inflation was quietly munching on the value of his dollars like termites in the walls of a wooden house. That $100,000 Bob saved? It doesn't buy as much as it did 20 years ago. Gas is more expensive. Rent? Don't ask. A cup of coffee? It's no longer $1.25. It's practically a luxury item now. So Bob's savings, they're kind of shrinking. Without actually shrinking. It's like financial black magic. And here's the twist. Bob thought he was playing it smart by avoiding risk. But by not investing, he was actually taking a different kind of risk. The risk of falling behind. Let's pause here for a sec and talk about how this whole thing works. Imagine your money is like an ice cube on a sunny day. Saving it in a traditional savings account is like putting that ice cube in the shade. It melts slower, but it's still melting. Now imagine investing, smart investing, as putting that ice cube in a freezer with a little fan that occasionally blows cold air and says, "Yo, let's grow." The freezer might shake a little, and every now and then, it might warm up for a bit and make you nervous. But overall, it's better at keeping that ice cube intact, and maybe even turning it into a snowball. Back to Bob. Meanwhile, Bob's co-worker Alice has a very different plan. Alice also saves money, but she doesn't hoard it like a dragon with trust issues. She learns the basics of investing. Nothing wild, no meme stocks or crypto roller coasters, just steady stuff like index funds. Alice understands something Bob doesn't. Saving money is step one, not the whole game. When inflation is cruising at 3% a year and your savings account is giving you 0.5% interest, you're basically losing money in slow motion. Alice, her investments might go up and down, sure, but over time, they grow. Historically, the stock market has averaged about 7% returns annually after inflation. That's like giving your money a gym membership while Bob's dollars are eating donuts on the couch. So by age 42, while Bob has his proud $100,000, Alice has, let's say, $180,000. Maybe more. And she didn't have to live like a monk to do it. Let's talk real world for a second. Imagine you saved $1,000 a month for 20 years. If you did that in a regular savings account, earning 1% interest, being generous here, you'd have around $270,000 by the end.
Nice.
But if you invested that same amount and got an average 7% return, you'd have over $500,000. That's the power of compounding, the magical snowball effect that makes your money grow faster over time. Albert Einstein allegedly called compounding the eighth wonder of the world. And whether or not he actually said it, the guy knew a thing or two about things that grow exponentially. So why doesn't everyone do this? Well, two big reasons: fear and confusion. People think investing is for rich folks in suits, or that it's basically gambling. But here's the truth. You can lose money in the short term. Yes. But long term, if you're consistent and don't treat the stock market like a slot machine, it's one of the most powerful wealth-building tools out there. Think of it like planting a tree. Bob buries his seeds and just stares at the dirt. He's saving, but there's no sunlight, no water, no growth. Alice, She plants her seeds and waters them. Sometimes there's a drought. Sometimes a squirrel messes things up. But 20 years later, she's got a forest. Bob's still got a patch of dry soil. And let's not forget taxes. Oh yes, Bob thinks he's clever by keeping everything safe in the bank. But that interest he earns, it's taxable. Meanwhile, Alice uses tax-advantaged accounts, like IRAs or 401ks, so she keeps more of her gains. Her money works harder and pays fewer taxes. It's like sending two people on a race. One's in sneakers, the other in flip-flops. Bob's trying. He's really trying, but he's in flip-flops. And now here's the kicker that really gets overlooked. Most people don't actually spend their way into poverty. They save their way into staying stuck. Because saving alone doesn't create wealth. It just preserves whatever you manage to earn. And that right there is why saving by itself is kind of like putting your money in a comfy little prison. It's safe, sure, but it's not going anywhere. Now don't get me wrong. Saving is important. It's like the base layer of a good sandwich. You need it. But would you eat just bread for lunch every day and call that a meal? Probably not. Well, maybe Bob would. The real secret is knowing the difference between saving to protect your money and investing to grow your money. Saving is for short-term goals, emergencies, that, oh no, my car just turned into a smoke machine moment. That's your emergency fund. But wealth, the kind where you can stop worrying about money all the time, that comes from putting your money to work. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. If your money isn't working, you'll always have to. And the moment you stop, whether you get sick, tired, or just really want to lie on a beach for a month, your income stops too. That's what we call the time-money trap. You trade time for money and then spend that money just to stay afloat, never actually building anything that lasts. But what if your money could go out and earn more money while you sleep? Sounds sketchy, I know, but that's basically what investing is. When you invest, you're buying tiny slices of companies. Those companies work, grow, and make profits. And when they do well, your little slices become more valuable. You might even get a piece of their profits in the form of dividends. It's like owning a cow that gives you milk. Saving, on the other hand, is like owning a carton of milk. Eventually, it expires. Now, maybe you're thinking, but isn't investing risky? Yes, so is crossing the street. So is not investing. In fact, one of the biggest risks you can take is doing nothing and hoping things work out. Think of money like a garden. Saving is putting seeds in a jar and locking it up so nothing happens to them. No weeds, no pests, no storms, but also no plants. Investing, that's actually planting them. Some might not sprout, some might get nibbled, but others will grow into big leafy success stories. And the longer you let them grow, the better the harvest. This is why time matters so much. The earlier you start investing, even small amounts, the more time your money has to grow. Let me show you how weird and amazing compounding is. Say you invest just $100 a month, starting at age 20, you earn a 7% return. By age 60, you'd have around $240,000. Now, someone else waits until they're 30 and invests $200 a month, double the amount, same return. Guess what? They end up with less, around $230,000. That 10-year head start? Worth more than doubling the money. Mind blown. So even if you're just starting out and can only put in a little, it's so much better than waiting until you have more. The trick isn't to have a ton of money, it's to start and then keep going. Oh, and don't worry if you don't understand all the fancy investment terms. You don't need to become a stock wizard, you don't need to day trade or predict the next tech unicorn. In fact, please don't try to do that. Just focus on simple, boring things that actually work, like low-cost index funds. These are bundles of many companies all wrapped into one investment, so you're not betting everything on one business. It's like a fruit salad instead of betting everything on a single pineapple. And remember, ignore the drama. Markets go up. Markets go down. People panic. News headlines scream things like, "The crash is coming every 6 months." But you're not in it for 6 months. You're in it for the long game. The people who panic and pull out during a dip, they usually miss the recovery. The people who chill, stay consistent, and treat investing like a slow-cooked stew instead of a microwave burrito, they're the ones who build real wealth. Also, one more thing people forget. Your future money has to deal with future expenses. Your retirement might last 30 years. If you're not growing your money to keep up with rising costs, you're going to have a hard time keeping the lights on and affording the occasional pizza. So while Bob might feel good now, thinking he's being careful, future Bob might be sitting in a rocking chair thinking, "Man, I wish I'd listened to Alice." So in conclusion, you can't save your way to real wealth because saving is just step one. It's protection. It's the foundation, but it's not the full picture. To build wealth, your money needs to grow. And for that, you need to invest smartly, consistently, and with a long-term mindset. Don't just hoard your money like Bob and hope for the best. Be like Alice. Learn the basics, take the plunge, and let your dollars do some of the work for once. If you want me to make other videos explaining these topics, please like and subscribe.